You're watching the official Bad Boys Texas after show only on Damien After Dark. I'm so glad you're here. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your post notifications so you never miss a beat. Also, make sure you like this video to show your support. You can also support by donating to the channel using Super Chat or Super Thanks. Just be mindful that YouTube does take 50% of what you donate. But I also have links in the descriptions to PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App if you want to donate those ways. Thank you guys so much for the support and the love. Also, make sure you join the conversation and let me know what you thought about the season finale episode. We're at the end. We're finally at the end. Season finale, Bad Boys Texas, Season 2. Didn't think we would ever get here. Sort of felt like the season was drug out a little bit. As you and I talked about here, it did seem like they were running out of things the last 5 episodes. We could have made this season 10 episodes. They could have wrapped it up and left it at that. And we would have been good with that, right? Wouldn't you would have been good with that? I mean, so yeah, will we get a reunion? People are wondering. I'm wondering, do you guys want to see a reunion? Do you think that we need a reunion? Are there any things that need to be resolved? My thing is, I feel like the cast, most of the cast since the show finished filming, are really on good terms. Last season there was a lot of toxicity at the end. There's a lot of drama between Jonathan and Relly and Gutta versus Milan and Rio and all those others, so there was a lot of anticipation for a reunion, yet certain people said they weren't going to go. This season, there really wasn't a lot of beef at the end. I think when the season wrapped, most people are still friends. The only issues I think that may be there still are with Anthony and Jonathan and Chef D, which we know Anthony's left early on in the season. And then there may be issues with Big Lou and Ara. I believe there's still some unresolved issues that happened after the show. But other than that, there's not really much. And I just wonder if we're going to get a reunion. There haven't been any clips. There haven't been any photos. There haven't been anything leaked showing where anybody had, was in a dressing room, in a trailer, preparing for the reunion. Nothing. We haven't seen anything. So unless, they start filming a reunion this week or next week and then give us one in a month, I don't know. Y'all know how they did with the Baddies West reunion. We had to wait a few weeks. So maybe that's what's going to happen. I don't know. So yeah, let me know in the comments if y'all would like to see a reunion. I'm sorry this after show is late. I know it's Wednesday and this aired on Sunday, so I'm really sorry. Thank y'all for being patient with me. If you watched the Jocelyn's Cabaret after show, you'll know that I talked about being in Miami all last week. I came home on Monday, so I didn't get to film and I didn't get to watch. I was tied up with things in Florida. However, I'm trying to get it done. I'm trying to get it out there for you guys. So let's start at the top of the episode, which pretty much this week's episode started with the boxing match that we saw last week. We saw all the guys competing in a boxing match. And it ended up, at the very end of it all, we ended up seeing Mo City versus Prince. They were the last two standing. The two pretty city boys, Mo City and Prince, they were the last two standing. We seen them boxing it out. And what would we do? What would we do without Orlando Brown? He provided the comedy this season. He provided the comedic confessionals, and he had me laughing so hard this episode when he did the whole his little confessional doing the punches, mimicking Prince in Mo City. Now, Mo City ends up winning the boxing match against Prince, and there was a $5,000 cash reward to the last man standing when it came to the boxing match. I guess I would have given that to Mo City too, but I don't feel like he really won by a landslide with Prince. I think like Prince was like 49%, Mo City was 51%. That's what I would have given that fight. Then did y'all see how they gonna have the Zeus security? They had Zeus security up there boxing. I'm like, y'all know they run out of content and they ain't got shit to film when they got they showing us Zeus security boxing, right? Up there fighting. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the Zeus security their boxing match was probably the most interesting match of them all because they were throwing them blows, right? They were throwing them blows. So after the boxing match and all that, we see Raz B tell Prince, Adonis, and Chef D that he still wants to hop on this song that a few of the bad boys did, that they recorded. And like I've said in the past, which kind of only makes sense because he is the only real official recording artist of the group who's made money off of being an artist, who's toured the world, that sort of thing. So, I mean, I could see why he would want to be on the song, and he should be. But if he doesn't be a part of the song, which we find out later he's not a part of, it's not like he's gonna be missing out on some big hit. But I do see where he's coming from, wanting to be a part of it. You know, you're a part of this show. You're a part of this once in a lifetime thing with this group of people, and they're doing something, and you're not a part of it. You feel left out. So I get it. We end up seeing the boys decide to go to a dinner that they call the Last Supper, which was nice to see. We haven't really got to see any dinner scene the entire season. You know, we never really see that. Haven't seen them sit down for one restaurant at a meal. So I guess it was nice to see that for once, to see something different. Now, on the bus headed to the dinner, Rel and Chef D start a roasting session where they kind of just start going at one another and roasting one another. And for those who don't know what roasting means, which most people do, it's pretty much like shading someone, reading someone, talking about someone, whether it's their appearance, their looks, who they are, their personality, whatever. And details really, you know, you got big feet. And really, and details really, you got big feet. And Rail turns around and tells him, well, your whole body is big. And I'm just like, oh God, where is this going? And Rail tells D that he was about to go real low with him. But since you're my friend, I'm going to let it slide. And I'm like, oop, but what was you about to say, Rail? Because you said he had a big body. What else was you fitting to come after? Was you fitting to come after his teeth? A lot of people like to make fun of Chef D's teeth and say they're big, they're chiclets, they're piano teeth, that type of thing. What was you going to say, Rail? I don't like the roasting. Maybe because I'm sensitive. I don't like being roasted. I feel like it's mean. People can take some of this shit to heart. Now, Prince is looking at Relly as he's roasting, and Relly takes his aim at him, at Prince, and says that Prince looks like a squirrel. And Prince tells Relly, okay, you giraffe neck ass, I'm about to light your ass up with your giraffe neck. I mean, there are people just going back and forth, you know, firing off shots. Chef D at one point tells Ara that he needs to sit his ass back and sit down. And Ara goes in on him and tells him he needs to sit the fuck down with his big bulging eyes. Have y'all never noticed Chef D's bulging eyes when he gets excited and he's got something to say? Well, Ara wasn't having it when Chef D told him to sit the fuck down. Ara said, you sit the fuck down with them bulging eyes. With them tweaker eyes. And then Prince tells Relly, I know you ain't talking with them struggling ass braids on your head. And Relly says, who you talking to with them discolored veneers in your mouth? Child, the girls are reading. The girls are reading each other down. Not the discolored veneers. Don't, Rel, you ain't got to do Prince that way. I was over here like with secondhand embarrassment, like, oh no, not the discolored veneers, child. Not the discolored veneers. Now, when they get to the dinner, everyone's talking about their experience being on Bad Boys Texas and what it's been like for them. And Relly says, you know, I look at all of you like my coworkers. I look at every one of you as you're my coworkers. And Orlando says, well, to me, it's been a brotherhood. This has been like a brotherhood. And Relly says, I didn't say that. I said y'all were my coworkers. Nobody said nothing about a brotherhood. And I have to give it to Chef D on this one because Chef D chimes in and he said, we're talking about Orlando's experience, not yours, Rel. And I'm like, okay. For once, Chef D, you're doing you this is what we want to see. This is be you. I feel like we're finally getting to see some of these people's real personalities once they've, gotten their feet wet and they've been filming for, a couple weeks now. Um, Carry On says that he gives all the boys advice that haven't been on the show and tells them, when the show's over, be careful because somebody might try you on the street. They might try to run up on you and fight you in the street. And Prince tells him, I don't know about you, but my experience being on TV doing Love and Hip Hop, I ain't never had nobody try to fight me in the street. Which I think it's just based on, everybody's experience is going to be different. If you at home and I both go on a TV show, the viewers may love you and they may hate me. I may come off as the villain. They may want to fight me in the street or vice versa. I think it just depends on how you're portrayed and how you look on television. And these fans, these people that watch these shows take some of this shit so literal and so personal into heart that when they see these people on the streets that they want to fight them over a TV show. So I can see where Carry On was coming from when he said that. And I'm sure that's probably happened to him. And I'm sure it's going to really happen to him again since this season it really looked like he just lets people run all over him and jump all over him. As much as I love Carry On, he really came across this season like a pushover. Raz B starts talking about his experience on the show. And he says, I'm a nice person. I don't like drama. I'm all about love and positivity and peace. But coming into this show, it was a very hostile environment. And me being in this hostile environment made me act and do certain things that I normally wouldn't do. And Prince chimes in and tells him, wait a minute, you put a lot of this stuff onto yourself. And D chimes in as well. D and Prince saying, you started a lot of the hostility. You never came into a hostile environment. You put a lot of these problems onto yourself. And I understand where Raz B and D are coming from when they say that, However, we can't take away from what Raz B is trying to say because I understood what Raz was trying to say. Not everybody, or not me. Let me not say not everybody. Let me say going into a situation like Bad Boys or Baddies is not the everyday environment. Nobody surrounds themselves with constant yelling, constant fighting, constant drinking, constant bullying, normal everyday people don't typically subject themselves to that type of environment or situation. So I understood what Raz B was saying in that moment. Granted, he did bring a lot of drama onto himself. However, I think that came about because of the environment that they were in. Look, Bad Boys is a social experiment. It's no different than Big Brother or Survivor or The Real World. You're putting people into a house with people they normally wouldn't be hanging around, and you video it and you're documenting it. So you're going to get, different sides of people. That's the point of it being a social experiment, to test these different human interactions. And Relly even stood up in that moment and said, coming from season 1, he was nervous going into season 2 because he didn't know what to expect, because this show, you have to be on your toes. You don't know what's going to happen at any moment. Now, we see a scene with Carry On and Ara, and they bond over the both of them having issues with their father, whether it's not really knowing your father or whether it's not getting along with your father. We see them have a moment where they kind of talk about that. And Carry On says that he hopes he and his family one day can get on the same page. And I do too. I hope he and his family can get on the same page. I think there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of baggage. There's a lot of emotional baggage and issues that go on within the Franklin household that I think people don't really know about. I think there's a lot of darkness. There's a lot of skeletons. There's a lot of skeletons in that family's closet that we do not know about. And I hope that Carry On can find some healing. I really do. Um, Now, Ara says, just when he gets comfortable, it's time for them to leave. He feels like he's just now getting comfortable and being able to film, and he's bonding with these guys, and now it's time to leave. And I feel like, as I was saying earlier, it would be hard to come on a show like this and to get comfortable, and then as soon as you do, you have to leave, because they only film this show for, like, when it comes to Baddies and Bad Boys, they film and tour for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then they go home. It's edited, and we see it then a month later. So versus a show like with Bad Girls Club, they used to put these girls in a house for 3 months and film them. And over the 3 months, these girls are building bonds, and they're building friendships, and they're getting to know one another, and they're confiding in one another, and you get close and it feels like your sister. And I think that created a lot more authenticity and created for better television compared to when you put these people together for 2 weeks and film them. It just seems a little bit more it seems so manufactured now compared to when they used to put them in a house for 3 months, which I get is more expensive to do that. I get that too. So, and in that scene with Ara and Carry On, did Carry On not seem a little like loose to y'all? Ooh, like he was talking like, yeah, bad boys for life, man. Like, I don't know, something was off with him in that scene. Maybe he smoked a blunt before. Every time I get up here with y'all, I get thirsty. Every time I get up here running my mouth, I always have to have something to drink here because I get thirsty. Um, so the boys who were on the song, you know, the 4 or 5 boys that were doing the song, Adonis, Chef D, Prince, Mo City, JB, they end up scheduling more studio time so they can squeeze Raz B into the song. Only for Raz B to not show up to the studio. But they brought Orlando with them, so Orlando ends up jumping on the song. He does a verse, so we got all 5 or 6 of them on this song. And then when we see later, we see all the boys get on the bus to head to their final club appearance for the finale, and Jonathan decides to show up. Throughout the season, I feel like Jonathan has popped in and popped out and popped in and popped out and popped in and popped out when he got good and damn ready. But on the bus, I didn't like how he was forcing Chef D to drink. I get when you're friends, you might pressure your friend a little bit to do something, like, come on, girl, do it, just do it. But the way Jonathan was on top of Chef D with a bottle of liquor, like, come on, open your mouth, open your mouth. And when Chef D finally opened his mouth, Jonathan's just pouring the bottle down his throat, and then Chef D spit it out. And Mo City's we don't waste liquor, we don't waste liquor where I'm from. But my thing is, not everybody is a drinker. I'll have a cocktail, I'll have a drink or two when I go out, get to feeling myself. But I'm not a big drinker. I don't want to take shots to the throat. Now, if you want to, what do they call it? Riding the boat, rock the boat, riding the wave, whatever it is, where they, you want to pour a little shot down my throat. We can do that, but don't drown me, bitch. Come on. That's what it seemed like Jonathan was doing in that moment. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I would have spit it up too. Now when they get to their final club appearance, the finale club party, all the Zeus stars are there. We see Scotty, we see Natalie, we see Bobby, we see Krishan and Blueface. They're all there. The boys, they perform their song for the first time on stage. It's the first time we get to hear it as the viewers. So far we've only heard them rap little snippets of it, but we get to hear it. And I guess it's not that bad. What do y'all think when it comes to the boys from season 1, the song that they did, versus the boys in season 2 and the song that they did? Which song did y'all like better? Did y'all like That's a Bad Boy? Get a bag, boy, bitch. That song in season 1, or did you like the one that they did in season 2? Because part of me, I kind of like the season 2 song better. Even though we didn't really hear the chorus, we didn't really hear the main chorus of the song. We only heard verses. The verses that I liked, I heard, and I feel like all their voices went well together. I don't know. Which song did y'all like? Let me know that in the comments. Then we see Krishan perform. She performs "It's a Vibe," of course. That's her only song, really, and the song slaps. It's a great song. I feel like it really goes hard in the clubs. And I just wish that she would take her music more serious, because Krishan could go places with her music. She really could. Like, the audience is there. She's got the audience. This younger generation of girls, whether or not Krishan is a bad influence or not, they love her. They love to watch the toxic relationship that is Krishan and Blueface, because I feel like people can relate to it so much. But my thing is, capitalize off this moment, girl. This money and this fame and this time don't last forever. You should be opening up for big artists on tour, but you two worry about Blueface. Krishan, mark my words, is going to one day regret her 20s and how she didn't take this opportunity by the horns. Now, the boys are doing their final confessionals. We're seeing their final interviews where they talk about their experience on the show. We see Orlando, he's crying during his confessional, and he's talking about how grateful he is for Zeus and how Zeus saved him and how they got him out of jail. And I can understand that. I can understand his emotion. And if hell, I would be crying too. Listen, if I was in jail on a $25,000 cash bond, Zeus, a network, comes and bails me out of jail. Not only they bail me out of jail, they put me on TV, give me a bag, a nice amount of money, put me up in these nice homes, pay them for everything. I would be grateful to them too. I would be grateful to him too. And I mean, Orlando wasn't the only one that got emotional during his confessional. A few of the boys did. We saw Prince crying. Prince was crying during his confessional, talking about his experience and how grateful he was. We see Jonathan was crying. He had to say, cut the camera, because he was getting emotional, and how this experience was for him. I feel like this season was a lot more lighthearted. This season was more of a brotherhood versus season 1. Season 1 felt more divided and more of alliances were forming, and it was more toxic. But season 2 really did feel like a bunch of dudes that were just having a good time. It made for some boring TV at times, but overall it seemed like they had more of a good time. And I feel like I enjoyed season 2 better. What do y'all think? And at the end, did y'all hear at the end of the episode, you can hear the final cut of the song. They played the final cut of the song. But yeah, the episode was pretty short. Wasn't really a lot that was going on other than them doing the finale party, them going to dinner. Like I was saying earlier, the number one question for me is, are we going to get a reunion? We didn't get a reunion for Bad Boys season 1. So I just feel like if we don't get a reunion for season 2, is this going to be a regular thing with Bad Boys where we just don't do a reunion? I don't know. Do y'all think that they need a reunion? Do we need to see them resolve issues? Are there any issues to resolve? I want to hear what y'all think. And what did you think of the season overall? And do you want any of these guys that were a part of season 2 to return to season 3? Would you like to see Relly, Anthony, or Carry On return to season 3? Any of those OGs from season 1? Please don't bring Relly back. We don't want to see Relly again. I know some people don't like Carry On. I kind of want him back. And I wouldn't mind Anthony back again, since he didn't really get a shot for season 2. A fair shot, because he was kind of bullied at the beginning. And where do y'all think season 3 will be? Miami? New York? Atlanta? Hopefully they don't do the whole tour thing. Maybe they'll just keep the guys in a big mansion and do that. The tour thing is played out for me. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this after show, about the season finale, episode 14 of Bad Boys Texas, season 2. It's been a blast reviewing and recapping this show on the after show each and every Sunday night with you all for the last few months. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of these after shows each and every week. I love each and every one of you. Make sure you subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you never miss a beat. Also, like this video to show your support. It's free to do, and I would so appreciate it. You can also support by donating to the channel. There are links available in the chat or in the description below where you can donate through Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, or leave a super thanks through YouTube. Also, last but not least, again, like I said, join the conversation. Leave me your thoughts, opinions, and reviews on the season finale of Bad Boys Texas and what you thought of the season overall. Who was your MVP? Who do you want to see return for season 3? Where do you want to see season 3 taking place? Do you want to see a reunion? I love you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time on Damien After Dark. See ya.